There is a legendary former Imagineer, synonymous with not only the creation of Splash Mountain, but is also the lead creator behind the attractions of Indiana Jones Adventure, Star Tours, and Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. And now, he just attended the grand opening of North America's newest theme park, before he's even ridden on Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Let's talk about former Disney Imagineer Tony Baxter, the creative genius behind Splash Mountain, attending the opening of Epic Universe, here on That Park Place. Somebody who hasn't minced words in the past, at least about a couple of things, and was there on opening day. Oh, this warms my heart right here. Mr. Tony Baxter himself, Disney legend, spotted at Epic Universe. I think this is a really, really cool story right here. Somebody who is just legendary in theme park circles, as you know, somebody who was instrumental in getting Splash Mountain up and out of the ground, developing it with Bruce Gordon right by his side right there. And it was one of his favorite theme park projects that he had ever done. And it just worked in so many fantastic ways. Even if you separate Song of the South from it, they were able to save those amazing Mark Davis audio-animatronic figures and implement them in what was one of the best attractions of all time.
One of my favorites was, for me personally, the development of Splash Mountain, which Bruce and I worked together.
Yep, it was. And sometimes when you hear an idea, you just go, that's it.
The animals from Splash Mountain look like Song of the South. A flume ride through the world of Brer Rabbit and Brer Bear would be spectacular. And if we located it out in Bear Country, we'd solve the problem of nobody being out there.
Now that's been completely undone, which we will get back to in a moment right there. But looks like Tony Baxter was having a lot of fun taking pictures with fans. And he did ride on Battle at the Ministry, as noted right here. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty good moment. Is that Dusty Sage? It is Dusty Sage, I believe, from Mice Chat right there. This guy is definitely a theme park fan, and I love these words from Mr. Eddie Sato. You can see Eddie Sato right there with Tony Baxter, but he said this on Twitter. He said, one of my favorite things about Tony is that he is about, quote, what's new and what's next, no matter who is building it. We all grew up saying, how did they do that? And it's still true today. We are inspired by great work, learn from it, and hope the industry keeps pushing boundaries. I'm dying to hear his full Epic Universe report when he gets right back home. That's super cool right there. Obviously, these two instrumental in the creation of Disneyland Paris and many projects after that. Smaller ones, of course. Guys, what do you think?
Is that Melania? Is that Melania Trump right behind him?
No comment on that. Yes. I don't know about his personal politics. I can only guess. I can only assume. But hey, I think this was really, really cool. Now, we have seen Tony actually show up in the parks. Actually, pretty.
I saw him recently at Epcot, like personally.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, he was out there during the art Festival of the Arts, and he was signing, one of his pieces, and it was very cool. It was really nice for the fans of him to be able to go out there and meet him. And I didn't even know he was going to be in the park that day. I was out there, and I'm like, oh wow, it's Tony Baxter. This is really, really cool. So, and I didn't personally go up to meet him. I think I did get him on film a little bit, but seems like very genuinely nice, friendly guy. He was having a good time even on that day, and signing his artwork. It's actually one of my favorite things about the Festival of the Arts. Paige O'Hara sometimes comes out there because she's an artist and she will sell her stuff. That she played Belle in Beauty and the Beast. She voiced the original Belle. And of course, Jodie Benson is out there all the time, the original voice of Ariel. So, these people, we have to remember they're real people and they are real fans. And to see Tony Baxter at Epic kind of shows us really the direction that Universal is going. They got a lot of Disney Imagineers over from Disney to Universal to help build that park. I know that for a fact because I know one of them personally. And I think this is where we're seeing the magic go now. I don't know how Marvin felt about it, but when I first walk into Epic Universe, I'm like, oh, wow. I literally felt the magic that I have felt missing at Disney parks.
I said to my wife, I said, this is what Disney should be today. And it's what they would have been today if they hadn't decided that diversity was our strength and got rid of all the creatives.
Yep. Yep. It's an amazing thing that inclusivity actually meant exclusivity. And then they added the sixth key, which is exclusive, as in pricing, for the super red there. So.
Yeah, it's no good. And from what I understand, Tony, not a fan, at least of the initiatives brought forth by some of that we were referring to. I'm referring to, of course, the closure of Splash Mountain, which, well, Tony was there. He was there attending the last day there. That was pretty cool to see him there and to see him amongst the fans and so many people who were very excited about, not excited about what would happen the next day, which was the closure of Splash Mountain, but excited to be there amongst the other fans and enjoy this iconic attraction one last time at Disneyland Park right there. You could see him. Very, very cool. He actually got some water from the flume there when it was still Splash Mountain. That's pretty cool. And from what I have heard, he has not ridden Tiana, or has he? I don't think he has. And so I think it's very interesting how he hasn't ridden Tiana, but he has ridden, Universal's Battle at the Ministry attraction. So I think that's a very symbolic, and it was pretty cool.
If I was him, I wouldn't ride Tiana either. I mean, come on. That one was a great ride, and the other one is still not working. It's still in testing from the last I checked.
I was hoping that when they were doing the blue carpet, the celestial carpet for the thing, that they were going to have Tony Baxter walk down it. Like, that would have been just chef's kiss. But
that would have been great if they said, we're going to someone very special, and they go to Tony Baxter.
And they come back and they go, so anyway.
That would have been... Yeah, that's probably what would have.
So wait, I'm sorry. My audio went after. Did you guys say that he hasn't gone on Tiana's Bayou Adventure?
That's what Vash said. Vash is true.
There have been no reports that I have ever seen of Tony Baxter having ridden on Tiana's Bayou Adventure. And now,
because
again,
if he had, they would have put it all over everywhere.
Right. And they did initially when he was originally attached to that project. I remember at Disney Parks blog post. I can't find it now because they've a year or so ago, they actually purged everything that was on the Disney Parks blog, like all of it. So a lot of those posts that were so notable and video and all of that have all been lost, unfortunately. But they did have a Disney Parks blog post with Tony Baxter attached to it and saying, hey, he's coming in to help facilitate this new attraction, that being at that time a ride based on Princess and the Frog. And they never mentioned him again. And I have heard internally that he was shown what they wanted to do and said, "Ooh, no, thank you."
No.
There you go. So that's what I've heard, and he's been very outspoken and at least privately about Tiana's Bayou Adventure and how the whole thing went. In fact, he actually went on a notable podcast, as you can see right here, provided by Showcase of Wishes on this tweet right here. How all the concerns that were raised against Splash Mountain, that had all been really squashed decades prior, and it really didn't make sense to retheme that attraction now.
We had this IP that was from '46, Song of the South, and at that time it was still in theaters, so there wasn't I love the revisionist stuff now, because I remember Michael Eisner said, well, let's put it out again to see if there's still interest in this movie that's from the 40s. And I think in that last reissue in theaters, it did better than it did when it came out. It was like very, very successful. So none of that controversy really existed. We worked with the NAACP, and we had Michael Jackson's staff in-house working on Captain EO, and we tested it out on every group before we went forward with it, and ended up saying that the dialect was something that they liked, especially the NAACP, because it puts their ancestors into the Disney park to hear characters. I mean, they're all animals and stuff, so you don't see any ethnicity in the whole ride, but you could tell that they were characters, that were of the black background. So they were comfortable with that. They said that puts us in the framework of American history, and just stay away from the words that have gone on to have worse meanings, like Uncle Remus and a tar baby and things like that. And so it was very minor. And so they were very happy with it. We were actually able to get one of the cast members, Nicodemus, I can't think of his last name, but he did Brer Bear. And he came in to do that. It was like 35, well, from 46 to 40 years later. So that was pretty cool. And so we thought we were on good footing, and we certainly wouldn't want it. There was nothing in the ride. I will stand by this even today. There was not one thing in the ride that in any way was detrimental to anybody. Whatever the controversy is come up with, it's more related to what the film is. And I think we're way overboard on that kind of sensitivity.
So I don't know. This saga is still playing out, but at least you got to see what Disney would have otherwise done had things worked out differently in the form of Epic Universe.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.